You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we're steamrolling now towards the NFL draft. About 1 month out until the festivities begin. Ironically enough, shouldn't surprise anybody. Talking a little bit about Ty Simpson again, a little bit. This is also about Drew Allar and Carson Beck. I like Carson Beck, actually, in this draft a lot. I'm actually sort of really surprised that you have these other quarterbacks in the draft, but you got a guy that's 6'4", 220, good completion percentage, 1,300 reps in college, basically a 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, and nobody's putting more stock in this guy. I'm actually pretty surprised by that. I'm talking about Carson Beck. He's projected as a third-round pick. If I'm a team and I need a quarterback in the second round, I'm going to think long and hard about it. I like Garrett Nussmeier a lot, too. This could end up being, I think, a sneaky good quarterback draft that nobody's talking about. Everybody's talking about Mendoza, number 1 overall, and then Ty Simpson. Now, depending on how you use him, like if you're willing to truly set him for a year because he only had 15 college starts, which I hate, by the way. I wish Ty would have went back to school. I don't know who was giving him advice. I think part of the advice they gave him was don't come out in next year's draft because of all the other quarterbacks. That's fine, but do you want to make it in the NFL or not? And we all know, look, 26, 27, 30 starts in college looks a lot better than 15. We've seen that. ESPN's Rich Cimini provided some information on why that might not be a good idea, talking about drafting Ty Simpson. He has 15 career college starts. Now, I did a Browns video earlier. Browns have had him at the facility. It's believed the Browns have got interest. And I said during that video, you're going to start Ty Simpson watch, the Ty Simpson watch, at number 16 with the Jets. All right, they've got a pick at 16. That's going to be a team and a spot to watch. Since 2011, 6 of 7 first-round quarterbacks with fewer than 17 college starts didn't pan out in the NFL. Jake Locker, 12. Christian Ponder, 12. Anthony Richardson, 13. Mitchell Trubisky, 13. Blaine Gabbert, 13. Dwayne Haskins, 14. The lone exception, Cam Newton, the 2015 MVP. Quote, it would seem counterintuitive for Darren Muji, who has a long-term plan to take a quarterback with a light resume in a thin quarterback class. However, Mel Kiper kind of shot that down. In his most recent mock draft, he predicted the Jets would take Alabama passer with the number 16th overall pick. Quote, he cited two reasons. They can ease him in, letting him sit behind Geno Smith. Okay, that makes some sense. There's no guarantee, even with 3 first-round picks, that they will get one of the top quarterbacks in what is expected to be a loaded 2027 draft. This notion that next year they're going to get Arch Manning or Dante Moore, who knows if they will or they won't, Kiper said on a national call with Rich Cimini. Well, that's interesting. That is interesting. Now, you got the emergence of 2 other quarterbacks. 2 other ones. You see that headline. The Jets have already worked out Drew Allar. Connor Hughes, all right, of SNY. The Jets had a number of Penn State players at the facility for private workouts this weekend, with the pro day circuit set to begin. Per sources, Drew Allar was among them. Team decision makers watched him throw on Friday. The benefit of leaving him with a number of other, they could see him throw to his guys. So they wanted to actually see him throw to his own dudes. Look, There's some things not to like about Drew Allar. Not super mobile, okay? I will tell you, there are some things to like about him. Let's just take a look. Good rule of thumb. 45 games started. Over 1,000 attempts. 63% completion, 7,400 yards. 61 touchdowns and 13 picks. And guys, he has got a gargantuan cannon on him. He's got a sniper rifle attached to his shoulder. Absolutely. Now, the one thing that I've heard Todd McShay talk about, which is pretty damn scary, is the fact that, and you've seen it at times, if you watch a lot of Penn State games, and I watch a lot of Big Ten games, he has this odd thing, and I'm talking about Drew Allar, not Carson Beck yet, with being able to hit players that are running away from him. He turns into all kinds of inaccurate. And you know, I mean, you got to be able to hit wheel routes, guys that are running out in the flat, and they're kind of running away from you. You got to be able to hit those guys. And that is a problem. That's a huge problem. But he's got a gargantuan arm. And I will say this, and this goes back to Will Howard being with the Steelers. If a team like the Bills can get a Josh Allen with a huge arm, right? And be able to rebuild him out of a school like Wyoming and make him into a starting quarterback. Sometimes this is where I believe if you got a guy like Drew Allar and you can't turn him into a successful NFL quarterback, then what's going on with the coaching in the NFL? Because the guy obviously has the tools. Now, is it starting them too quick? Do you cannibalize? I've often thought that the teams don't give enough opportunities to young quarterbacks, and then they sort of, a team will draft another one and they cannibalize themselves. The Jets keeping a close eye on former Miami and Georgia quarterback Carson Beck. You see that right there. Jets general manager Darren Muji met with Beck last night ahead of watching him work out at Miami's Pro Day, according to Rich Cimini of ESPN. Let's just look right here. All the things you're looking for. 1,400 attempts, basically. I mean, 70% completion per 11,000 yards and a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. He's 6'4", 215. I'm going to tell you who he reminds me of. And at one time, this was a good thing. He reminds me of Deshaun Watson. He's got that kind of build to him. Tall guy, not thin, just about the right kind of body type. Carson's a little bit more, all these quarterbacks are a little more mobile now than in years past. Drew Allar, not a lot of mobility there. Carson Beck, more so. Like he could do a little something maybe. Man, I think in a Kubiak, Shanahan, McVay, LaFleur, those kind of offenses, I think Carson Beck could be I think he could be a damn killer. Frank Wright, I could see Frank Wright doing something with Carson Beck. And if you can grab him in the third, why not take a flyer on him? Because I think one of the biggest stories that nobody is talking about for next year is Arch Manning going to agree to play for the Browns or the Jets? We hadn't talked about that. Is him and his family going to agree to go to the Browns or the Jets because of the history of the franchises? I often wonder, is he just going to push away from the table and be like, no? And are you going, and behind the scenes, the agent is talking to all these teams. Are they going to, is Arch's people, his agents, his family, going to navigate some kind of a trade with a team that's actually not too bad? I mean, think about it. Let's just say the Vikings can figure out something in Arch Manning. You know what I'm saying? That I'm just throwing that out there. The Niners decide, hey, we'd rather have Arch than Brock. And we don't know what Arch Manning's going to be yet, but you get my point. I'm just bringing them up as an example. The Dallas Cowboys, you know, I don't know. I just think I've had this feeling that Arch is going to push back from the table to 2 or 3 franchises and just say, no, we're not playing for you. All right. When you're Arch Manning, you can do that. When you're Shedeur Sanders, you can't do that. So now Arch might crash and burn this year. And if he does, he'll go back to school another year. That's something that's being lost in all this too. If it's the Browns and the Jets at the top, Arch might go back to Texas again. Tell me what you think. The Jets, they're looking at all kinds of quarterbacks, all kinds. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.